Hello, hello, and welcome to another episode of Dropping into Happiness. If you are watching on YouTube today, you should be seeing three faces. So we're doing something a little fun today. We brought a friend along, but just in case you are new to this podcast, we are your hosts. I am Rachel.
And I'm Maggie. Hi.
And then host, do you want to say your new co-host friend, do you want to say your name real quick?
I'm Ivana. Nice to be here.
Yay! So, I know. So we are here today to talk about, I think this is kind of a fun topic this week. We're talking about social media's effects on a weight and wellness journey. Because honestly, I think there's pros and cons. There really can be. But so just a little recap for those who may be new. Maggie and I both have lost just over 100 pounds. The program we used was WW. Maggie is still in weight loss mode. I'm in maintenance mode. We live on opposite sides of the United States. And we met virtually and we're friends virtually. And we've never met each other in person. But we like to hang out online.
One day.
But so yeah, let's hop on in, guys. So Ivana, do you want to kind of tell everybody who you are and kind of why we brought you on today?
Yeah, absolutely. So I am a WW coach along with these wonderful ladies. I guess if you'd put my pin on the map in Connecticut, we'd make a really broad triangle, the three of us. Yeah, so we're just about as far apart as we could get. And I have been a WW coach for 4 years this month.
Nice.
But I have been a WW member on and off since middle school. Classic church basement with my mom style. And I have been an Instagram WW-er for, I'm bad at math, since 2014. We'll put it that way. So
about
that
8
long.
years.
Yeah.
8 years. Oh, wow.
Yeah, that's amazing. I knew you had been a coach longer than Maggie and I, because me and Maggie came in with the pandemic, but you came in from studio, huh? And then you moved over to virtual.
I did.
Do you find the dynamic different from going from like in studio to virtual? Like what's been different for you?
I will say one of the things that excites me most about the virtual world is that I get FaceTime with so many more members every week. Also, I used to drive over 500 miles a week between studios, and now I don't have to do that. So,
oh my,
perks.
Wow.
Yeah.
Saves a lot of time and gas. That's for sure.
Oh, okay, quick question. Where has been the furthest person from you that's been in a virtual workshop?
Australia.
I have not had the member from Australia. I would probably say Hawaii.
Oh, yeah. I've had someone was in Greece. I've had someone on vacation in Cancun, and John from the UK, he was in London. Yeah.
Oh, wow. Yeah, I did have someone tuning in from Amsterdam, but that's not their normal location, but they were on vacation and they wanted to zoom in and show me their cruise.
The Greek person, yeah, they were on, yeah. I think they were on vacation. Yeah.
So cool.
That's so funny. So I love that. So yeah, we're utilizing technology, right? I mean, we had to turn to this source once, the world shut down and we couldn't be in the same room as one another. But so talking about technology and, like I said, I love our virtual workshops. I think it's helped me as a member because I mean, Maggie and I were both members first before we became coaches. So me personally, that's really helped. But so like broadening that, when we're not in a workshop, other technology that can maybe help or hinder, I think social media is a big influence on a lot of people's journey. So like if I honestly making notes, I list out my pros and cons, and I have more pros than cons. I don't know about you guys if you thought about it. I think I have more pros than cons.
I definitely think I have more pros than cons, but I feel like that's also some of our personality traits because we tend to look on the sunny side of life. I don't know if everyone is able to see the glass half full when it comes to social media all the time, but there are a lot of pros to it for sure.
Yeah, I would say pros come to mind first, although I think it's kind of changed over time, over the 8 years I've been on Instagram too, and
I can imagine
trolling and all of that. So, but I'm a glass half full gal too. So
Well, and honestly, I don't know about y'all, but a good chunk of the people I follow and who follow me are also WW members. So I think that helps too, because I feel like our community in general is very supportive and we love giving each other ideas and recipes and cool, this is what I'm doing and this has worked for me. Maybe it can work for you. So looking at your pro list, what is a pro? I'll start with Maggie. What's one of your pros for utilizing social media?
Well, I will say that I originally had just a personal account where it was just like, this is my life, and I'm taking selfies and bathroom mirror pictures, and here's my outfit.
Which are the best.
Here I'm at the football game, and then it was when I kickstarted really my running journey back in 2017, where I was like, I want to Instagram with a running log, and I want to follow just like all these runners, and I want to post about my running journey, and I don't want to clog my other feed with things that not all my friends would be interested in. So then when I created my account, I started following people who are interested in that similar journey. And so then I was able to get information, accountability, inspiration, again, from folks who were going through similar things to what I was going through, training for a 5K or a bigger race and those types of things. So definitely just being in a like-minded community and being able to filter that on a regular basis, so you're getting information and positivity that benefits you. It's a great thing.
Yeah, definitely. So what about you, Ivana? What's one of your pros, you think?
The first thing that came to mind was accountability for my own journey. And that has really been the big evolution in that in 2014, my account, like Maggie's, was different. It was me as a WW member before Connect existed.
Which, for those listening, if they don't know, Connect is WW's version of social media. So it's strictly for WW members, and it's within our app. So sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off, but just to give everybody who maybe doesn't know, that's what Connect is. Yeah.
Absolutely. And so a lot of people would make these second Instagram accounts to post their food, almost all their food, and weekly weigh-ins, and we would share things, no stories. It was just posts, like old school Instagram.
Back in the day, no stories. How did people manage?
So if anybody needs some great entertainment, scroll way back on my account if you have some free time and look at how awful those food pictures were. Okay.
Like, I sure will.
So then, like, as the years went on, like, you become the more expert voice as well. I became a coach, but also as Instagram got more influencer-y. But now it's kind of circled back to how can I use my account again for accountability and sharing a little bit more about that. Because that's really what people like to see. And that's where that community comes from that Maggie was talking about.
Well, and you know what I think is funny about accountability? So accountability is like, I'm doing this for me. I want to make sure that I'm being accountable. And I can't tell you how many people, though, can be inspired by your accountability. So it's not just for you anymore. And it's really amazing. Cause I know Maggie, you've utilized that a lot. Cause you're like, you guys, I'm going to post what I'm eating. I'm going to show you what I'm doing for you. But in turn, you do end up helping so many other people.
Yeah, I really turned into something because especially when I transitioned from more of just a running specific account to joining WW and then sharing my food and doing that, it was at first like, I'm just showing my points and my food for that accountability, like in addition to just the tracking in my app. And then it morphed into, oh yeah, and by the way, you can eat a cheeseburger and lose weight. Watch me do this. And oh, this is how I work in cheesecake into my week. And it became like this game almost. And then I started getting messages of like, oh my gosh, you really helped me because I didn't realize I could incorporate some of these things and still lose weight. And, I'm inspired to try WW because of it. And, that it just became this big thing. Now it's like, I don't even necessarily do it for my own accountability anymore because tracking my food or being aware of my food has become more of a habit. But I do it because I know that it not only helps me, but helps more people as well.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
And just to let everybody know, in the show notes, I will put my Instagram, Maggie's, and Ivana's links in there. So if anybody wants to follow us individually, and also the podcast has it, Dropping Into Happiness Pod. So we'll have all of those available. So if you guys want to follow any of us individually. So thinking of, though, the kind of, okay. Because I said, so I know we do this for accountability, but when it comes to you and what inspires you, what kind of accounts do you guys like to follow? There's this one, and her name is, I think, Fit with Yulia. And actually another WW employee had told me about it, and man, does she have the best workouts. I love getting on there and seeing her workouts. I've been sore in places I didn't know I could be sore following this lady, and I love it. So that's one of my favorite ones. So I utilize it for things like that too. So what's Ivana, what's one of your favorite accounts that you follow?
Oh, okay. This is so tricky. And I think I've been speaking a little bit about this on Instagram lately, but I think it's really important, even if, for example, I used to just follow WW members, Weight Watchers members, and extending it to enhance my knowledge of wellness as a whole. So following experts in the fitness industry, following experts in nutrition, dietitians who even have views that might be different than mine, but I'm a firm believer in the more you know, the better equipped you are, right?
Yeah.
So food, fitness, it's so funny. Now I can't even remember. So please hold. Someone else jump in.
I'll jump in because I was looking up exact names as Ivana was sharing. So one of the accounts that I've really loved recently is Nikki Gets _fit. Nikki Gets Fit.
Oh, I follow her too. Yeah.
Yeah, WW member. She's down over 72 pounds, and she shares a lot of her food, but also a little bit of like into her life, and I think that's really cool. She has a YouTube channel which I subscribe to, and I get a lot of just like easy, quick meal ideas from her. Like that's where I like to get inspiration is quick, easy, realistic meals. Sometimes I see recipes and things online where I'm like, no, or I have to go and buy like a gazillion ingredients.
Yes,
I'm just like,
and you need to get like the big thing that you only need like a fraction of something out of. Yeah.
Yes, which I have a whole qualm with almond milk and how they don't sell it in smaller packaging, but that's like a whole nother saga I could get on. So, but she's like, she does these bowls where she just preps a bunch of ingredients throughout the week and she just tosses it in a bowl, and that is just such my vibe. Like I just throw stuff on a plate and I'm like, boom, done. So I really like following her. Now I'll pop it back to Ivana.
Okay, perfect. But also I just have to say, like Maggie, I am more of an assembler of meals than a chef. That's how I like to see it. Two of my recent favorite accounts, both dietitians, Food, Fitness, and Faith is really awesome. She also does she's also a certified personal trainer in addition. And then College Nutritionist, which has nothing to do with the college age demographic, but she's also a registered dietitian who does specialize in helping women lose weight in a healthy way. So those are my top 2 recs.
Yeah, and I will make sure to have these also in the show notes. So should you guys, don't be frantically trying to write things down, especially if you're driving. But I know a lot of people listen to us when they're walking, so they're gonna be like, "Oh man." I will put these links in the show notes. I promise, because it's good stuff. Like I said, that's one of the things I do love about it is the community, and we can learn from one another. I mean, for those that are in workshops, like we have WW virtual workshops. I have people who are lifetimers, like, "Oh, I've been doing this for 20, 30 years." Yeah. And they're still coming to workshops because they've even said I was learning stuff last month. I got a new recipe idea, because the community, the sense of community that comes with all of this and the ideas and the inspiration. I mean, some of them, I don't have any in particular, but some of the kinds of sites that I like to follow, I love ones that are just going to have inspirational sayings, because sometimes you just want to be scrolling and see that kind of thing. Yes, and it just hits, and for some reason they always hit you like on the day you need it. It's the weirdest thing. And like, I love ones that have like the learning ones. It'll tell you like, "Hey, do you need vitamin C? Try this, this, and this." But I love it when it's very like preschool-ish, and they're like little cartoons. So I'm like, that's easy for me.
Right. That's easy to understand.
Yes. I'm like, that's super cute. And like, if anybody follows me, usually when I see those, I'm like, that's going on a story. Cause I just think like everyone should know this information. So I like to share that kind of thing.
I know we're like sticking very Instagram heavy right now, but I also just wanted to shout out YouTube in general. Not necessarily, I've never documented my journey on YouTube, but I subscribe to a lot of health and wellness like content creators, and they'll do what I eat in a day videos or grocery hauls. And that was really something that helped me in the beginning of my journey. I just like WW grocery hauls, and there was these people, sharing their food and the points and I got so many ideas on like low point things to try out just from the get-go watching those types of videos. So I definitely recommend utilizing YouTube as a resource.
That is a good idea. When it comes
especially for friends getting started.
Oh yeah, when it comes to YouTube, because we've talked about this when we talked about our activity episode, actually, like Fitness Marshall. I love the Fitness Marshall. I love the content. I love the exercises, and then I also utilize Fitness Blender. That's another one I really liked. But those are because I love especially when everything was locked down, I was working out at home, and so I still follow them though. And so every so often, if I'm not getting to the gym, I'm like, I can still use these guys right here and just really take advantage of the at home atmosphere. Oh yeah. Mm-hmm.
I don't
Yeah.
know if y'all follow Whitney Simmons, but
Heard of her.
she is one of my icons. I just love and aspire. She says every day it's a beautiful day to be alive, kind of looking at that sunny side of things
Yeah.
mentality, but she's also very honest about her mental health and things that she goes through and how she uses physical fitness and the way that she fuels her body through food as a part of her overall health journey, but really, how it benefits her mental health. And, she's just wonderful. So again, she's not a WW person, has never done WW in her life, but I love following her and just getting inspiration from her, whether it's food or fitness.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. So do you think you would, if somebody's starting a journey, do you think you would encourage them to get on social media and use that for accountability, for inspiration kind of thing?
Yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
I think that in terms of someone just starting out, going onto Instagram and searching, hashtag Weight Watchers, that it's going to be a 99.9% positive space, right?
Mhm.
It's going to be
Yeah.
resources, ideas, and inspiration from people on their journeys, right? Because they're not, nobody's paying them to show us these things. They're doing it for accountability, like we said. So
Yeah.
it's the real deal journey and real life practical tips and tricks.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Okay. So we've talked a lot of the positivity. So what do you guys think would be a con of too much social media?
Ivana, you want to go first?
Okay. Well, one, it can just suck up too much time, but we'll dig a little deeper than that, right?
Yeah.
So I think on the flip side, for me at least, once my Instagram took on a mind of its own and I was someone who people sought out to follow, it became less about me as Ivana and more about what I'm putting out there, what people need to see from me.
Yeah.
And then it kind of starts to feel like an extension of a job, right?
Okay.
And it can stop being fun sometimes. But I've
Yeah.
tried to, like I said, make it more about me and my accountability and bring that fun back into it. Not to mention there are trolls on the internet everywhere, including
Right.
our little corner of the Instagram world.
I believe it.
I'm with Ivana in that, like at the beginning, it's all exciting and you're just kind of sharing anything that's on your heart and mind, and it's easier to be quite open. But as your page grows and again people are seeking you out, for me it's like, oh, I want to see your food and stories every single day, or I want to see when you worked out or all this stuff, and it's exciting, but also it does feel like this is an expectation. This is not a chore. I don't know if that's the right word, but like, for example, if I just film a reel of like my weekend that has nothing to do with WW and I see the views and I'm like, oh, and then I post a transformation reel and it's got triple, quadruple, even more than the views, you're thinking, I am nothing more than my weight loss, right? Which we know is not, it's
Oh.
not true, but you have
Yeah.
that like initial reaction of like, okay, I know why people are really here. And there's some folks out there who just will be so sweet and kind and say, I love whatever you post. I don't care what you do. I just love following you. But there are a lot of people that are in it for a particular reason. And if you're not serving that purpose, they will leave. And I mean, I do the same thing, right? If I'm following someone and all of a sudden I'm not really getting anything out of their content, or it's bringing something negative to my mental space, then I'll unfollow. And so it's like, well, I can't expect others to not do the same, but it does kind of get in your head a little bit, for sure.
Yeah.
I can anyway.
I think one of the biggest cons, and it's not even for me, but I mean, I have teenagers, so this is where this fear comes from, is that unrealistic expectation. So I feel like us, like, we've talked about it, we try to be very real. We try to say, hey, look, I went over on my points today. Hey, look, I told members today, I had almost an entire frozen pizza by myself the other day because I was sick and I just wanted to eat and lay down. And I'm real about that. You know what I mean? Like, that doesn't mean the very next day that I didn't, immediately have my water and my, avocado toast in the morning. But not everybody does that. And I'm always very concerned with like my kids, that they're going to see people just setting these very unrealistic expectations and them thinking, I have to be like this, or I have to do this to get to there. And a lot of times that's not sustainable, or it's not healthy, because it's not reality. So that's one of the cons for me is, and that's just, like I said, that's just where my brain goes, because I have kids and I have a daughter specifically who that's concerned. And she's at a very impressionable age, and she's like right at that cusp of, being from teenager to adult. And I'm like, I just don't want her to see that and think, oh, I have to be like this, or I have to like this, or my body has to be this shape, or you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And
definitely. Because it's a highlight reel. And, being on the other side of it, where I would consider myself like a micro content creator, micro influencer. I mean, I get it in some ways because we have to protect ourselves in a way. Right. Like I can't just like get on and cry when Seth and I have gotten to a tiff, even though that's normal and it happens, right? But it's like, I mean, that's a boundary that I have to set for myself, right? But I never want anyone to think, oh my gosh, Seth and I have this perfect relationship. Or like, it's like we all have to set those boundaries. But I think if we can know going into it, like this is a highlight reel, I'm not seeing every single moment of this person's life. I'm only seeing what they're allowing me to see. Then we kind of put ourselves back in the driver's seat of how we kind of manage that. I mean, I went through this whole phase with filters on stories because there's some really cute ones and fun ones and aesthetically pleasing ones, but a lot of them alter the way that we look. And I was just using them for fun until one day I realized I looked in the mirror, I was like, wait, I have forehead wrinkles? Wait, what?
That's such a good point.
Other people don't have forehead wrinkles. Yeah. And then I'm looking and I'm like, oh my gosh, wait a minute. The filter smooths out everything on my face. I've forgotten because, we're so used to seeing ourselves through the phone that I forgot what I look like in real life.
It's not the reality.
And I was like, oh, no. And I swore off all filters unless it's like Mickey ears. And then I'll put it on for a second and then I'll say, okay, this is my real face. And now we're back with the Mickey filter because it's so fun.
Yeah.
And not saying that other people can't do that. I think do whatever gives you the most peace and joy. It's your social media. But for me, I have to remind myself, not everybody looks like that. It's okay that I have wrinkles. Some people, they get the Botox or whatever, and that's fine. That's their journey. But it's okay. It's normal to have we just have to have constant monologue with ourselves. I think it's important.
It is like that reality check. And I think, we've been around like long enough that we can make that differentiation, or we spend enough time on social media that we can do that. But like Rachel said, I feel like, teenagers, younger women, it can be really impressionable. So call to action for any graphic designers. We need some filters with cute Disney frames that do not make
your
nose
look
smaller.
Yeah. The eyelashes, the cheekbones. I'm like, oh bless. And I don't know about y'all. I do think one of the cons, again, we have to take everything with a grain of salt. But when you post things on the internet, whether it's a food or a workout, you're opening yourself up to any kind of criticism, warranted or not. Like I'll never forget. It's so funny, like just the comments that stick with you. I'll never forget. I had just moved from Tallahassee to Orlando, and we were getting settled into our apartment. I had literally been there for 2 days, and I even made a post. I was like, "Hey guys, I'm just kind of out of my normal routine, and I'm taking it one day at a time." And then, and I said, taking a step back from activity just until I get into the groove of things. And I posted on stories, as I always do, my food, and I posted my cheeseburger and french fries. That is a very normal part of my pattern of eating. And someone responded to me and said, hey, excuse me, but I haven't seen you run around your new neighborhood yet. And it was response to a cheeseburger. So I'm thinking, are they food shaming me? And I just started spiraling with one simple comment. I was like, oh, I haven't ran yet. And there's really no excuse for it. And here I am. And I was like, oh wait, no. So food policing is a very big thing, especially with
that takes us back to last week's episode, right? Of like, you don't need to say things like that to other people. I mean,
yes. Ivana, have you ever had that happen to you? Because you share a lot of your food and things.
As soon as you brought it up, Maggie, like specific comments just like spitfired into my brain. The one that floats to the top was, this was years ago. And it was a story where I had I had a really fun week and the scale was up like several pounds. It was just like a vacation week. And I had shared on my stories, I was talking about how, I was going to work out, but it felt like I was working out as a punishment. Like my mind was doing this strange thing.
Yeah.
So I had decided that I was going to skip my workout that day because instead of looking forward to it, it felt like a punishment and I don't want to go down that road. And someone messaged me and said, that game sucked. You should work out. You know, you'll feel better. And I was like, and then you scroll and see if you've ever interacted with the person before.
Yeah.
No.
Oh my gosh. Today, y'all, I got on stories and I said, hey y'all, happy Monday. Spoiler alert, it's Thursday. The amount of people who message me who never engage with my content, Monday, ? Oh, it's not, to tell me I was wrong on the day. I was like, it's just little things like that if you're having a bad day or your hormone levels are out of whack or you're just like, really, come on, y'all. But it's all it comes with the territory, it's one of those things where I'm not sure if it'll ever change. I try to be a positive source of education for how to interact with people on social media that you don't really know, because I feel like, again, it's one of those behaviors we have to learn. So it's like, thank you so much for saying hi, hello, how are you before asking me a question. Like, I really appreciate that. I feel like a human and not Google, right? Instead of being like, I can't believe you just messaged me cold, right? It's just like that positive reinforcement. I've noticed a change in how people are interacting with me because, those things. So it's like, I feel like Dr. Gary Foster talks about in The Shift. Plug. No, he really does say, like, the people that love you and really care about you, they want to support you. They just might not know what that looks like. So I think that can be applied to a lot of different things. And so we just kind of have to keep talking about these things every so often, that it's like, what boundaries look like, or what positive communication looks like, or if you don't have something nice to say, maybe
we talked about that in the episode of what our support systems look like, right? And we talked about the love languages, especially people within our lives, not even on social media. Maybe they think they're showing you support, but it's not. And same thing for those other people, though, like maybe them feeling, and we've been talking about this in WW, that like negative talk, like, oh, well, you should have been running. That's just what they think is helpful when it's not. But when you said saying hello before you say something, oh my gosh, I think I was in junior high. I'm much older than y'all, so this was before cell phones. And I called my friend's house and his mom answered and I just said, is Tony there? And she goes, I'm sorry. When you call my house, you're going to say hello to me first. Boom. From that day, I have never called anybody. I have never messaged anybody without saying like, hi, how are you? Is so-and-so there? From that day on, burned into my brain. Into my brain.
Lessons.
Well, that's what Maggie and I hope to do for some of the people on Instagram. We're hoping to burn those examples into their brains.
In the most sweet, gentle way possible. Right? It's just like,
supportive.
I love you, and sometimes I think, again, sometimes I don't know if people understand what I'm trying to convey, because they'll just message me cold, like a question or something else. Like, hi, hello, your name, how are you today? Thanks so much for your message. And then I to answer because I'm like, maybe they'll get it. But again, comes with the territory, and we got to look at the glass half full, and that a lot of people mean well. And we're all learning this social media thing together because it's interesting. How long did it take the society to learn? Like, you would never just go up to someone in the middle of a theme park or a grocery store and say, why are you eating that?
Yeah.
Right? Or
you feel like you can online.
This? Right. But online, we feel like we can. So I feel like hopefully over time, some of these behaviors will shift the more people talk about it. But, it's just something that you have to understand. If you want to build an account and you want to start sharing your journey, that, again, so many pros, a few cons.
I think we can agree that the pros are outweighing the cons as of right now. Yeah,
for sure.
But if you just kind of recognize that most folks mean well, and it's just a matter of, you don't know what you don't know. And,
and you never know somebody else's journey. Like we were saying, you don't know everything behind the scenes. You don't know what somebody could currently be going through that day. You don't know. So, I mean, like I said, if you can't say something nice, don't say nothing at all. That was another one I learned when I was little.
Yes.
Don't do it.
That would be a great thing,
Maggie, so, okay, in last week's episode, Maggie kept going, tangent. I don't know if Maggie saw, we had a comment on YouTube, and somebody was like, I love Maggie's tangents. She can do them whenever
Like I said, the almond milk one, I really had to rein it in, but it just doesn't fit the theme of our conversation at all. But
I'm with
maybe
you on
one
that
day.
though, because I'm like, I do not go through a gallon of. I like almond milk, but I'm like, can I get a half gallon? Can I get a little bottle? Like, I don't need a gallon right now.
I'm actually very confused by this because I go through almond milk regularly. So
okay, so
I just
for those that don't follow Ivana, her food is just so nutritionally dense and beautiful and aesthetic, and she's just like, I think of Ivana, I think health, but not in an aggressive way, because she's balanced. Like, she goes out and she has her pizza, a lot, right. But even when she goes out and she posts her food, I'm like, it's colorful and beautiful. I don't know, she's just amazing. But oh God, I just lost my whole train of thought. What were we even talking? Almond milk. Okay. So again, of course, she's the kind of person who would just like drink almond milk. But for me, I don't just like drink almond milk, or I don't have it in a bowl of something like, cereal. I just don't. So then like a recipe will call for like a 1/4 cup of almond milk. And I'm like,
girl, just use water next time.
I know.
Really?
Yeah.
It wouldn't make a difference.
Do you taste almonds in your final product?
The most recent recipe was a chicken pot pie biscuit casserole.
Ooh.
And I really thought about just leaving it out, but I was like, what if the consistency is not right? Like, whatever. So anyway, I'll buy the gallon and then I'll regret every moment because I know it'll expire before I use it again.
I know, but the reason I want to get it now is because Starbucks is very expensive. I'm not a coffee drinker, so I'm a tea latte drinker, and I've been substituting all my tea lattes with almond milk. So I'm like, and I have matcha green tea at home. I have vanilla at home. All I'm really missing that goes into my drink, my $6 drink at Starbucks, is some almond milk. So why don't I just make that at home from now on? So yeah.
So that was my almond milk tangent. See, we got to it. We did. It was going to come out of me eventually.
So, and it's okay. It's our show. We can do whatever we want.
True.
So to recap, friends, social media can be an amazing tool for your health and wellness journey. It can bring a lot of joy. You can make real life friends, which I think is super exciting. Something we didn't even touch on. Yeah. Again, everything comes with a con in life, I would say. Yeah. I don't know. That might have been an extreme, but
she's like, except Disney.
Right. Except, well, people would argue.
Yeah. Very true. My bad. I take it back.
But, it can be a beautiful tool, and it is what you make it. Just remind yourself, why did you create it in the first place? And follow that call, and it will become the most wonderful little magical corner that you could ever dream of. If you just believe.
Oh, Maggie, I was in workshop today and I was telling people, I was like, have you guys ever heard Maggie sing? She sounds like Princess Aurora. And they were like, no. I'm like, I swear. I said, she sang happy birthday to someone one time. And I took my phone out and I recorded her because she sounded like Princess Aurora. They were like, you gotta hear that now.
Oh, I didn't get to hear that. This is interesting.
And this was back when
I sang to you happy birthday, Ivana.
Oh yeah, I did get a personal happy birthday video.
Yeah. I sang it to her. It was like 7:30 in the morning too. I was like, me. Because I wanted her to know, I knew it was her birthday,
Yeah.
It's a special day.
It was like a year ago, because it was, Maggie and I were just starting to do workshops together. And I was, it was right about this time last year. That was the first time I heard you sing. Mm-hmm. Yeah. And
one of these days, y'all, I'll sing for the podcast. We'll do something, but not today.
Okay. Well, today, though, we do need to get to some star goals and recommendations. So I guess I'll kick it off. So my star goal for this week, I want to be more transparent on social media. I feel like I am when it comes to certain things, but I don't post a lot of my food. I don't post a lot of my snacks. And I want to be a little bit more accountable when it comes to that. I post a lot more lifestyle things, and I want to be a little bit more transparent when it comes to my food. So my goal this week is to share, because when we make a star goal, guys, it's something that's specific, truly doable, has an action, and it's relevant. So the thing I'm going to do in order to be more transparent on social media is I'm going to share one of my meals, a meal that I make. I don't know if I'm going to do a little video or just a picture, but I'm going to share a meal. And then my recommendation is to find positivity online. find your people. I think I've mentioned what a big Potterhead I am. And I just discovered another one of our coaches is a huge Potterhead. And she informed me that within Connect, our WW world, that there is a hashtag for Hufflepuff WW members. And I was like, that's my people.
Who knew?
Same.
So guys, there is a group and a category for everyone. Find your people and you will find that positivity that we need to find in every day. So those are mine.
Yes.
Yay.
Yes. Ivana.
Okay.
The guest of honor.
So my star goal this week, and this loops into my whole accountability thing. My star goal is to take 4 beach walks this week to start my day.
Wait, like what you just posted?
Interject.
Oh,
I love an Ivana beach walk moment.
That made me so
love
jealous.
it. My favorite is when she talks to us, but even with the smile and the beach view, I'm here for it.
What about when you get a phone call, Maggie, and it's like just you get the beach talk?
Hashtag
right?
blessed. Blessed.
So that's like an hour commitment to start my day 4 times this week. I've already checked the forecast, so no excuses. And the accountability is that whenever I do that, I post a story to Instagram, so you'll know if I went or not. And then my recommendation is to set boundaries with all things, but with Instagram and time on social media. Most phones these days, you can set, a little timer. I have mine set for 2 hours on Instagram each day, and then it just pops up. You can bypass it, but at least it heightens your awareness of how much time might be getting sucked up. So setting those boundaries.
Yeah. That's exciting. I will say my star goal is to track everything that I eat before I eat it. And this is something I've spoken into existence like a gazillion times already. And so far, 2 days in, we are killing it. So I'm not putting pressure on myself to track like a day in advance or like hours in advance. It's just like before it goes to my mouth, it goes to my tracker, because I've gotten into the habit of doing it after the fact and then getting a little annoyed. So we're just switching things up. And then my recommendation is, if you haven't already considered starting your own health and wellness journey Instagram, give it a try. You never know. But if you have, reach out to someone you follow and send them an encouragement. Let them know how thankful you are for their content, or cheer them on if they post a transformation picture.
Tell them hello first when you start your email.
Yeah. Don't forget to say hello, right? And let's just spread that positivity and that love that we know is out there.
Yeah, I like it. Okay, Maggie, so we have a closing quote this week from a listener this week, huh?
Yes, we do.
Yay.
And it's by Dana H. The quote is by Pink. Love that.
Yes.
Change the voices in your head. Make them like you instead.
That's right there is straight up self-compassion, right? Being positive and being your own best friend and being your biggest cheerleader. I love it. I think that one's good. But like you said, I mean, just looking at the 3 of us, we've even said in the very beginning, we are very glass half full kind of people, but I can tell you right now, I don't feel like I started that way on this journey. So you can change, guys. The more we do it, the more repetitive we are with that, wonderful self-talk and that positivity. And like these beautiful ladies right here, surrounding yourself with people who are on that same kind of journey and that positive light, it just starts to come naturally. So, all right, guys. Well, we got to wrap it up. So thanks for dropping by.
Have a magical day.
Thanks for having me.
Yay, Ivana. Thanks, everyone. Bye.